Hello, and welcome to Make a Difference, the show about how volunteers are making a difference every day here in Montgomery County. I'm your host, Lorraine Driscoll. Today we'll be talking with representatives from Community Ministries of Rockville, an organization that seeks to improve the quality of life for vulnerable Montgomery County residents by providing basic health and human services and conducting advocacy, all toward achieving and maintaining self-sufficiency. Before we get started, take a look at some of the other volunteer opportunities that might interest you. Don't go away, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Make a Difference. I'm your host, Lorraine Driscoll. Joining us today are representatives from Community Ministries of Rockville, an organization that helps to improve the quality of life for vulnerable Montgomery County residents in ways that help achieve and maintain self-sufficiency. I'm delighted to have with us Andrea Kempner-Wink, Director of Development and Volunteer Services, and Enrique the accountant for Community Ministries of Rockville and a former volunteer. Andrea, Enrique, thanks for joining us.
No,
Thank you for having us.
So, Andrea, why don't we start with you? Can you tell us about the mission of the Community Ministries of Rockville and how you got started?
Sure. So we started in 1967, and the idea was to help the community. It was a church that really wanted to reach out and help the community in different ways. And the great thing about CMR, Community Ministries of Rockville, and our 50 years is that the vulnerable in Montgomery County and Rockville have changed over the years. And CMR has done a really good job of reaching out to whichever community is the most vulnerable at the time and taking care of them. So we have 5 programs currently that provide health care, and that's to give services to medically underserved Montgomery County adults. We have a housing program that provides permanent supportive housing, an emergency assistance program that provides eviction prevention, utility shutoff prevention, prescription and medical assistance, and those are financial ways that we help. And then we provide referrals for food, clothing, dental and vision care, and computers for the family. We have education for immigrants in the forms of English for speakers of other languages and citizenship classes. And we have an elderly ministries program that provides elder care with home care and safety services. So it's a lot.
Wow, so I can really imagine how, your mission, I'm assuming, has remained pretty steady to help the most vulnerable.
Right.
But it sounds like you are tapping a huge range of things that can happen to people and put them in an emergency situation.
Absolutely. So medically underserved has always been there, but for example, immigrants, we didn't have an immigrant population in 1967 in Montgomery County and Rockville, and that came in the 80s and the 90s, so we found a need and we took care of it. And the elderly, have been served in different ways, but our elderly community is obviously growing and will continue to grow.
We're an aging community.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. So this, I'm at 67, so we're up to
50 years this year.
Wow.
Right. So we're really excited about that. We're celebrating that in many different ways. Our tagline is Achieving the Extraordinary Together, which I think is a great piece. And what's also really interesting about our history is that although we've always had a staff member, for about the first 20 years we really had one staff member who was paid, and then we had a lot of unpaid staff. And actually almost every one of our programs started with a volunteer as the program director. So Rockville Emergency Assistance Program, REAP, was our first program. It started with a volunteer who was there a few hours a week. Elderly Ministries did the same thing. All of them pretty much have started with volunteer helpers. And then, they've continued, and we've been able to serve the people we've served, all because of our unpaid staff, our volunteers.
Wow, so do you have staff today who started as volunteers?
Absolutely. Our executive director actually started as a volunteer in the accounting office. Our finance director stepped in when she became a staff person.
Wow.
And now is our director of finance. And you know, so
And then to state the obvious,
absolutely,
Enrique, I'm not even
Yes.
thinking here.
Right.
That you started as a volunteer.
Correct. I started as a volunteer about 2 years ago.
Tell me about that.
Well, I was coming out of college, actually going to college, and I tried to look for job opportunities. And every place I went to, they told me that I needed some job experience. Somebody referred me to Community Ministries Rockville and told me it might be a good match for me. I didn't know at that point what she meant, but when I met with Andrea, talked to her about it, and once I got the volunteer position, helped them volunteer, I understood why she meant that. I'd like to give back to the community, and I didn't see how much Community Ministries of Rockville did for the community. And that's one of the biggest aspects why I came, or actually stayed with Community Ministries of Rockville.
Is the purpose? And
the purpose of giving back to the community, I gotta say.
Yeah.
I've always tried to find different ways of giving back to the community. Even though I do live in Arlington, I commute here to Rockville every day. And the commute, honestly, to tell you the truth, it doesn't bother me anymore. The reason why it doesn't bother me is because I know I'm helping at least in the smallest way to give back to this community.
Oh, so
I
you
have to
got.
say, Enrique is unusual in a volunteer in that he came in about 3 or 4 days a week. And part of it was he became so indispensable that when we had one of our people who was working in the accounting office, and she moved over to Elderly Ministries, and we needed to fill the position. There was no question, there was no, we need to advertise or anything else. It was just, Enrique,
somebody knows the
can
job.
you take the job?
and who's integral to the mission.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So I hear you're still volunteering.
I'm still volunteering. Yes. There's so many things that we do with Community Ministries of Rockville that, there's so many events and so many volunteers that come through the offices that there's always a little place you can help out. Lately, in the past few years, I've actually helped out with a couple of the events that we had. The galas, Monte Carlos, Taste of Rockville at the same time with the volunteer recognition that we had just recently. So there's always somewhere you can help out, and if I can try to make it to those events and help out, and like I said, in any possible way, I'll do it.
Right.
We have staff also that have started as staff, and they come in and volunteer. And they love it. So we have, in our language outreach program, a number of our staff have volunteered at times as teachers, as teachers' assistants, playing with the kids as tutors in childcare. And, once a year I go in and volunteer just because it's so much fun. And it's a different way to look at the organization and learn about the organization.
Right.
So,
right.
yeah, and Enrique is much better at it than I am. He goes out there frequently. I'll say, oh, I'm going to do Taste of Rockville, and Enrique says, well, when can I come out? When can I help?
I mean, if I can, like I said, if I'm able to help out, I'll be able to do it from there.
Well, and it sounds like that the staff and volunteers are very much linked in the organization. I heard you say it's staff and unpaid staff.
Right.
That it's very much a partnership to meet this really big mission that you guys have taken on.
When I talk to potential volunteers, it's really important to us that we make a connection so that we know what our needs are. And it's really important to have a volunteer actually fulfilling the needs of the organization, because otherwise they don't feel needed.
Right.
And then I also want to know what your need is. Why are you coming to us? Because I want to make sure that we can fulfill that. There have certainly been times where somebody said, what I want to do is learn how to give people shots. Well, I'm sorry, we can't provide that for you, so we're going to send you somewhere else.
Right.
But then we have other people who say, I want to learn about the needy. One of my favorite stories is a Rockville Emergency Assistance Program volunteer who came in. And she had some physical disabilities that she was dealing with, and she had been, I think, pretty much at home a lot over a number of years, and she was trying to reach out and find some way she could give back. And she came to us, and we talked, and she thought that program you sit for about 4 hours. And she thought, well, I think I can sit for 2 hours. I'm not sure about 4 hours at a computer.
Wow.
I said, we'll give it a shot. Let's see, because she was so caring and just, you knew that she was going to be so into it. So we brought her on, and she became our wonderful volunteer. She won the Volunteer of the Year for that program that year.
Wow.
And she liked it so much and learned so much about herself that she did leave us, but she left us because she was going to California to start a master's program in social work, so she could work with those clients.
To go from not sure about her capacity of 2 hours at a time to
Yeah.
So what an empowering organization you guys are.
Oh,
You
man.
talk about empowering the people you serve towards self-sufficiency, but everybody.
Hopefully the staff and
Yeah.
paid and unpaid.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Terrific, terrific. Well, tell me, if people want to get involved in volunteering with Community Ministries of Rockville, tell me, how would they reach you?
They can reach me directly at
Mm-hmm.
301-637-0172,
Mm-hmm.
or they can go to our website, www.cmrocks.org, CMROCKS.org. I love our website name.
Yeah, you
That's
rock.
actually, yeah.
CM rocks. Cool. Well, tell me, you have mentioned a couple volunteer programs that you run. So why don't we why don't we help start describing some of them
Sure.
to help people understand what the role is. You mentioned the Rockville Emergency Assistance Program.
Right, Rockville Emergency Assistance Program, REAP. We have intake coordinators. We ask for a 4-hour commitment once a week. So you work Tuesdays 9 to 1 or Thursdays 1 to 5. You come in, and that one has a long learning curve because there are so many pieces. So you learn how to make referrals for food and clothing and that type of thing. And then you learn how to help with financial assistance for evictions and utility shutoffs and all of that. It's very rewarding. It is also, that's one where you see people in their in a crisis. They're scared.
Right.
So you have to be somebody who really wants to deal with people who are stressed and maybe might yell a little bit. But when they leave, they are so happy with the outcome and feel so relieved because they know
the weight is off the shoulders.
Right. They
Wow.
just know that they're not going to be on the street.
Right.
So that's an amazing thing.
That's awesome. So tell me, you said the people who volunteer in that role, it's 4 hours?
4 hours once a week.
Okay.
And we do ask for a 6-month commitment. We train.
Okay. You do have training. and-
Absolutely. And, when I say a 6-month commitment, you take vacations like a
Right.
regular staff person.
People can kind of help each other out
Right.
with filling in occasionally.
But we do actually, we try to have, our volunteers are unpaid staff. We use them. They need to be in their positions. We want commitment.
You want to count on them
Absolutely.
being there when the
They're
calls come
doing
in.
something really important
Right.
for us
Right.
and hopefully for themselves.
Right.
And another program that's about to start our spring semester is our language outreach program.
Okay.
So we're teaching English for speakers of other languages. We have teachers' assistants, tutors for children who are in school, and child care providers. There's always a paid staff person there as well. But it's Tuesday and Thursday evenings. It starts March 7th is the new semester through June 22nd. People can work 1 day a week, 1 night a week, or 2 nights a week.
Okay.
And that's something that we'll be hiring basically for, and I do call volunteers hires.
Okay.
So we'll be doing that in the next couple of weeks.
And that's English speakers?
Those are English speakers. As a matter of fact, we encourage people who don't speak a second language. Although bilingual speakers are fine, it's absolutely not necessary at all.
And so then you could be, even without credentials, you could be a teaching assistant.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But if you do have teaching or ESOL credentials,
we would absolutely love to talk to you. I have one teacher's position still open where I would love to fill that in. So yeah, absolutely. Give me a
Terrific.
call if you know somebody.
looks like we're out of time. So I want to thank you. It sounds like there's some great volunteer opportunities. Tell us one more time, phone number, website, if people want to volunteer.
301-637-0172, cmrocks.org.
Terrific. Well, Enrique, Andrea,
Wonderful.
thank you so much for joining us today and telling us about all these great volunteer opportunities with Community Ministries of Rockville.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We've been talking today with Andrea Kempner-Wink and Enrique Vizcarra of Community Ministries of Rockville regarding how you can get involved in helping to improve the quality of life for vulnerable Montgomery County residents in ways that achieve and maintain self-sufficiency. For broader information about volunteering in Montgomery County, please contact the Volunteer Center at 240-777-2600 or visit their website at montgomeryserves.org. Remember, as a volunteer, you can make a difference.